Last one's in. To the mathematically adept, an even more insidious flaw than demographic saturation and dilution of retail markets for retail sales would also be recognized in the plan. This flaw is also rooted in basic math. The vast majority of all the recruits that would ever join the last ones in were prevented from benefiting from the cuts. The doomed fate of the majority is demonstrable and predictable even before the first recruits were thrown in to the unsustainable self-destroying folly of relentless recruiting and futile attempts at retailing. In the 5-Get-5 plan, or some similar version of it, which was to become universal in MLMs, each person would theoretically produce a chain of 3,905 new recruits within the first 5 recruiting levels: 1 plus 5 plus 25 plus 125 plus 625 plus 3,125 equals 3,905. Each would, in theory, get a cut on all those below. However, those in the bottom level would get no cut at all because they have no others below them. That bottom level includes 3,125 of the total 3,905, or 80% of the total. While the bottom level, 80%, could earn no cut at all, the next level, consisting of 625, which is another 16% of the total, would also gain nothing, or nearly nothing, after time and sales costs are factored, because each member of that rank only has 5 others below. Profit would only begin perhaps at the next level above, in which each would have 30 in their respective downlines. In the transcendent realm of infinite expansion, imagined and designed by Mittinger and Castleberry, 96% or more were doomed to fail. The profit from the cuts would be denied them by position. These fatal proportions of losers would remain fixed regardless of how large the recruiting chain would grow, how long it would run, or how many people would join and quit in the duration. It is likely, though, that Mittinger and Castleberry were not focused on or even concerned with the plight of that 96%. They were far more likely to have been transfixed by the income that would flow to the top level, where they would sit. This fortunate position would have almost 4,000 recruits in just the first 5 recruiting cycles, and then would grow explosively, almost beyond imagination. The 3,125 at the bottom of the 5th cycle could become almost 10 million 5 cycles later. The planners would also have taken note of the next level below them, made up of just 5 members, who would each have almost 800 right from the start, the original black hat upliners. Regardless of the aggregate effort expended and the intensity of hopes that the plan would elicit from new recruits, the bottom 96 would never gain a profit from the magical source of benefits, the cut, while the top few percent would become kings, or as they were later to be known, kingpins. Mittinger and Castleberry were, of course, designing a novel version, never before seen in the sales world, of the classic pyramid scheme. Using marketplace terminology of commission sales and aiming the plan at people who might seek an income from selling goods, the plan amounted to nothing more than an unsustainable money transfer from later participants to the earliest ones. The money paid in by later recruits and passed upward would consist of inventory purchases and the value of their time and labor to sell goods and recruit others. Since the plan destroyed retail sales potential, the greatest and surest contribution to the money transfer fund would be the recruit's own purchases, making the plan a closed market, the very opposite of a customer-based sales business driven by consumer demand. The incentives offered from recruiting and then leading to inventory purchases by those who enrolled would replace the need for retail demand. The salespeople supplied the demand, but not for products. They would be enticed by the mythical income opportunity, elevated in meaning and importance as the benefits Mittinger had previously sold in the cemetery field. Quote, a garden that seems next door to paradise itself, a place of infinite loveliness and eternal peace. Industrious in this plan would mean the unscrupulous, whose incomes would only be the losses suffered by those later recruited, often close friends and family members.